Besties, welcome back to another one of my videos. When I was uploading that previous reading vlog I just uploaded about the reading generators, I realized I haven't done a book haul since July. So I have about 50-ish books to do a book haul right now for you guys. All the books that I knew I had gotten since then are on this list. There shouldn't be any repeats. There might be repeats. First, I'm gonna go through the ones I've already read, which is a small amount compared to the ones I've gotten, which makes me a little anxious, but it's fine. First up, I have Black Silk. This is a novella. It is a indie version. I got the ARC for it. As you can see, it says not for resale. This is a vampire and a vampire hunter romance. Very good, very spicy. Like I said, it's a novella. It's very short. The next two I got and read are Veil Kingdom and The Hunted Heir. This is book 1, this is book 2. Book 3 is not out yet, I think. But these ones are just a romantic fantasy. The first one, just to give you like a little summary, it's about this girl who runs away from her father, who is the king of the kingdom. He's bad, and she ends up in the hands of the enemies. It's enemies to lovers-esque story. Next up, I have the third book in the Sacred Stones trilogy. This is the last and final book, A Reign of Rose. It's a romantic fantasy series. I can't go into much detail. This is book 3. Next up, I have The Striker, which I'm sure this is all over the place. You guys probably already know what it's about, but Anna Hong wrote, and this one is in one of my reading vlogs. So you can actually see me read this if you want to. But this one's a soccer romance and a ballet romance. It's more heavy on the romance, not really heavy on the sports. I went to 2 different book conferences, so a lot of these books are from that. I'll probably group those together, but one of the next books I have is More Than Promises. The lighting on the light covers is really weird, but this one's just a small town billionaire romance I got from the author at one of the book conferences I went to and got signed. And then lastly, I have The Cruel King by Rena Kent. I am starting my Rena Kent universe era, whatever you want to call it, reading. I have this one. My next book I actually am reading on my TBR is Deviant King, which is book 1 of the series because it's technically book 0. I think this was written after that series was wrote, and this one gave more context about one of the couples, but this couple follows Levi and Astrid. It's a dark romance, kind of bully. This one wasn't too heavy on the bully. I know the next one is, so dark romance. Getting into all of the books that I've gotten that I have not read yet. First up, I have Yours. This one I saw all over the place. My best friend just unhauled it, so she gave me her copy. But it's about 2 people who meet in a graveyard. It's giving like Halloween fall vibes, so I'll probably save it till then. But it's really short, really cute. Next up from Berkeley, I got Till Heights Do Us Apart. I think this is book 2 of this series. I didn't read book 1 yet. I got a suspense romance, but more of just like a rom-com. Next up from Berkeley, I got Designs on You, which I'm so excited about this one. It's about an interior designer and a game designer, and it says like she's sworn off relationships, he's a committed bachelor, so it's giving those vibes. I'm super excited. I don't think I've ever read anything by this author, but I think she has some popular books, so I'm very intrigued. Next up, I have The Perfect Son by Freida McFadden. Thriller. Freida McFadden's very popular, so if you don't know what this is about, Google it on your own time, because I go into all of her books completely blind. No idea what's going on, no idea the premise, no idea anything. I feel like that's when I get the best enjoyment out of her books. So, The Perfect Son. Next up, I won in a giveaway, the Tutoring the Player, and I got this from a giveaway from one of my besties, and I'm super excited about it. It's a hockey romance, and I'm assuming she tutors him. Next up, I have Weak Side, which is another hockey romance that I just got. Oh, I actually got this as a gift. My bestie, Katie, got me Weak Side, which I'm super excited about. It's a hockey romance. Yeah, that's all I know. Next up, I have A Love Beyond the Stars. So this is another book I have from one of the book conferences I went to, so it's signed. I actually have the sprayed like edge special edition one in the foiled like letters, but this is just a little cute space romance. I think they get sent up into space and fall in love. Next up, I think this is from another giveaway I won, but I got Thirst. I just saw Larry read this one, so I'm very intrigued and interested to read this one as well. It's a dark bully romance. I'm not really sure. I forgot why I added it on my TBR, but I'm super excited about it. And it's really short. Like, it's almost like a novella, I think. So, next up, super popular one you guys already know, Wild Eyes, Elsie Silver. This is book 2 of the Rose Hill series. And it's Single Dad. I'm actually currently reading this one. And it's single dad. He's got 2 kids. And then you have pop star Skylar, who is famous. And she essentially runs away from her life and wants to go live in this small town and record music by herself. Up, I have The Games Gods Play. So this one also is in the Siri picks how many pages I read a day. I started this one in that reading vlog. I'm still only 50% through. I explained in that vlog I got like burnt out on fantasy because it's the only thing I was reading there for a minute. But this one is about, it's Hunger Games vibes, but add in like the god aspect. Like Hades is, I think, the male interest in this one. Yeah. But essentially these gods every 100 years hold these games and they pick a human mortal in their place to like compete for them, and whoever wins like the throne for the 100 years. So Hades picks our female main character to compete for him. To some of the books that I've gotten over the couple of book conferences I went to, a majority of these I don't know in-depth details about. A lot of times I go to these book conferences and I talk to authors and they're really nice and really cool, and then I'm like, yeah, of course I want to buy your book, like I love you. So a lot of these I probably couldn't tell you what they're about, but I'll try my best. So first up, I have Rising Queen. This is book 1 of the Blood Empire series, and this one's been on my TBR. This is one of the ones that have been on my TBR for a very long time. It's a Y2's dark romance. Next up, this one's very, 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 very popular on BookTok and Bookstagram and all over the place. I got Wings So Wicked, Join the Elite or Die Trying. So this one intrigued me because she described it as Serpent in the Wings of Night crossover with ACOTAR. Never read ACOTAR. I've read the first book of Serpent in the Wings of Night. Really enjoyed that one. So I'm really excited for this one. And yeah, I got some pretty art prints as well from it. But yeah. Next up, I have Wilt. This one is a mafia romance, but it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. One sounds so good. I don't normally gravitate towards retellings, but I know I'm gonna like this one. And it's mafia, and I love me a mafia romance. Next up is a book I got for free at one of the conferences. It's Vengeance is Mine. It's a Mafia Bride series. It's a very short novella. I've never heard of this author. I'm intrigued the least, and it's short, so I'll definitely give it a try. Next up, this is by the same author of Rising Queen, but I got Little Bird. This one's also another Y2's dark romance. The author was really sweet, and like I said, Rising Queen has been on my TBR for so long, so I was already planning on getting her books, so that one looked good. Next up, I have A Realm of Dark Fury. This one's a chunky fantasy. I think it's dark romance, but she said it's like Hunger Games vibes, so I was pretty sold on that. Anything with Hunger Games vibes, I will buy. Like, take my card, because that hooks me every time. I just love the high stakes, competitive type of stories. So yeah, I'm really excited, really excited about that one. I'm just scared because it's quite large. Next up, I have The King's Game. This one I don't really remember too much about. It's a fantasy romance, and I just read the back, and it sounds another like a Hunger Games type of story, which, to be fair, probably might be the case. This one might not be Hunger Games. One of these is Hunger Games vibes for sure. This one, they compete though. Maybe they're both Hunger Games. Let's just go with that. Yeah, The King's Game. I'm excited for both of them equally. Yeah. Of Darkness. This one is another popular social media author. This one I was super excited about. I don't know much about this one. This one I kind of want to go completely blind into. I think I don't know. A lot of times with fantasy romances, I like to go into them blind because then I have no expectations or no ideas about them, which is super fun in my opinion, but it's super popular, so you probably already know about that one. Next up, I have a Dark Academia Why Choose. This one's called Wicked Gods. It's about this girl who goes to this school that's like kind of split in half between the gods, they call themselves, and like the normal people. And she's a normal person who attracts the men gods people, and they bully her. It's really dark romance. That's the vibes I got. But the pages are pink, which I thought was really cute and unique. The next two books I have are Curse of Shadows and Thorns and then The Everking. The Everking is more popular than this one, I feel like, but this one you're supposed to read before this series. This is like the parents, I think, of these ones, so this is like the children, but this is like they're both like romance, fantasy. This one's like a Viking vibe type book, and then this one is more like on the seas with like the pirates type of book. Next up I have Worthy of Fate. So the back says a fantasy romance with an intriguing magic system, dark forces, spirits, and fated mates. So I'm pretty sure when I picked this one up, it was compared to other popular fantasy romance books, but I could not remember them off the top of my head if I tried. So if this intrigues you, good reads. And then this one I did not get at the conference. So all of those I got from one of the book conferences I went to. So going back to regular books that I just picked up, I have The Stars Are Dying. So I also got like the pretty sprayed edges of this one. This one I don't really know much about. It's just really freaking popular, and I read her other series and really enjoyed it, so I already know I'm probably going to enjoy this one as well. Next up, I picked up Frontrunner. This is book 3 of Elsie Silver's oldest series that she's like republishing. It's a country cowboy horse racing series, and it's set in like a small town. Different day, different lighting, different outfit, different everything. I ran out of storage, so I had to do some decluttering before I could keep filming this video. But to get back into it, the next two I have Deviant King and Sealed Princess. This is book 1 and 2 of the Cruel King series. No, Cruel King was book 1. I don't know. I'm reading the Rena Kent universe, and this was the first series you're supposed to start with, so I already read book 0, and then I just finished book 1, and I'm loving it so far. Next up, I have House of Beating Wings. This one is a fantasy romance. Yeah. Next up, I have The Serpent and the Wolf. I actually just picked this up from Target the other day. I think it just came out, but it's a fake marriage meets enemies to lovers. Sold. And it's fantasy, and it's spicy. Next up, I have a thriller. Thrillers I always go in blind, but I have She Left, and the top just says 20 years ago she survived, now she's fighting for her life. I think it's about this girl who was at like a camp or something 20 years ago, and like everyone died but her. These next ones are from Berkeley. So first up I have Pickleballers. This is just like a pickleball sports romance. It looks really cute. I've never read a pickleball books. I feel like pickleball is like a brand new sport, so I'm very intrigued. I love pickleball, so I'm hoping I'll like this one. Next up I have Bridge of the Shadow King. I don't know anything about this one, but it is a fantasy, and I'm assuming it's an adult, but it might not be. It says an outcast princess makes a political marriage with a reluctant king to save both their kingdoms in the first book in the Bridge of the Shadow King series. So sounds like arranged marriage. Next up I have Mr. Nice Spy. I have the first one. I haven't read it yet. Got the first one through Berkeley. Got this one through Berkeley. I'm really excited about these ones. They sound like super fun and like quick, easy, just like no brain reads. So I'm super excited about this one. Next up I got from one of the book conferences I went to. It's Dirty Pucking Tease. This one's a hockey romance. It's also dark. It's also taboo. Sign me up. And the author was super duper nice. Next up, I have North Queen. This is another one I just got from one of those book conferences. This one I have been really, really high up on my radar. I've seen such good reviews about this one. It sounds super, super good. And this one's on my winter TBR because it's set in wintertime, I'm pretty sure. Next, I have What Did You Do? This is book 2 of the Infatuated Fae. So book 1 actually went viral like a year ago, and I finally read it like a couple months ago, I think, and I really liked it. I didn't love it, and I wasn't like completely shook by it. I think I would have liked it more if I read it during the hype of the book, but I think I read it so late that I don't know, I just didn't get it. But I still wanted to read book 2, so I got book 2, and I'm super excited about this one. One of my very good friends said this one is better than the first one, so I have really high hopes. Because it's not that I didn't dislike the first one, I just didn't love the first one as much as people did. Next up, I did a little Secret Santa holiday thing. It's only November, but those are starting to ramp up, and I got Worth Every Second. It's a football romance. I don't honestly remember why I put it on my TBR. I don't know. I don't know if it's pen pal or something, or if I just saw like a blurb from the author or something, but it sounded really good. Sports romances are my jam, so. Next up, I have Happy Medium. This is a Halloween type of read. I'll probably save this for next year. My good friend started to read it and she didn't like it, so she unhauled it and gave it to me. It says, a clever con artist must convince a skeptical, sexy farmer of his property resident's real-life ghost if she's to save them all from a fate worse than death. Sounds interesting. I'm not sure if I will enjoy this one or not, but I'm gonna save this one for next fall and Halloween season. This one everyone has been talking about, and it's going to be read next, but I have Lights Out. If you don't know what this book is, which I don't know how you don't know if you're on BookTube, if you're watching this video, you definitely know what it's about, but if you don't know what it's about, it's a dark romance rom-com. He like stalks her. It's got like the mask trope. I don't know. I'm super excited. I'm reading this one next. I have very, very high hopes for this one. And I heard the audiobook is really, really good. If you want to read it, read that. This one, I got Spectacular, which is the little novella in the 4th book of Caraval. It's kind of just like a spin-off. It's not really into the story, I don't think. It's more of just like after the story. It just add to it type of, I don't know. I'm just excited to be back into the world and read this book and be with these characters one last time. I really loved this trilogy. It has like a place in my heart for sure. I got Bloodguard. This one has gorgeous sprayed edges and it sounded really good when I read it, but it's about gladiators. I've never read a fantasy book about gladiators, but it just says 100 years, tens of thousands of gladiators, and today only one will rise, and has really cool like cover art and everything. I don't know, I'm just very intrigued and excited, and I'm hoping I'll like it. Last on this book called Heartless Hunter. This one is also called The Crimson Moth. I think it was what it was originally called. This one also went viral maybe a month or two ago. Finally got a copy of it, finally jumped on the bandwagon, and I cannot wait to read it. I've heard such good things, and I definitely want to read it before the next book comes out, but it's a YA fantasy romance. It's an enemies to lovers, high stakes, a witch and a witch hunter. Sign me up. Sounds good. If you're still here, thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this book haul. I hope you got some fun new book recs. I can't wait to read every single one of these books. If you've read any of these books and have like really good thoughts, comment them down below. Let me know. But other than that, I'll see you next time.